I'll tell you a little story about a guy who had this limiting belief. His complaint was, women never take the initiative with me. And so, yeah, he used to go out at night chasing women in bars and clubs, but he was not very successful with it, and he was sick and tired of it. And then he took a class on positive thinking, on affirmations. And there he learned from the trainer, an American trainer, it was like 20 years ago, and he learned, you just have to repeat this positive statement about you that you just invented out of nothing. You just have to repeat it over and over again for at least 4 weeks, for at least 10 minutes a day, each and every day for 4 weeks. And he could not believe what a crap that was. He thought, how on earth could that work? I am a piece of 10 cents, and they are telling me that I can become a piece of 25 cents. Hey, I'm Dutch, that's not possible. But he was a graduate in physics, and he had learned that in order to falsify a theory, you first have to put it to the test, you have to experiment. So that's what he did. For 4 weeks in a row, each and every day, he would repeat over and over again to himself, women always take the initiative with me. Women always take the initiative with me. Women always take the initiative with me. He didn't believe crap of it, but he had promised himself to do the exercise anyway. He thought it's complete bullshit, but I'm just gonna do it. He did it for 4 weeks, he stuck with it. And after 4 weeks, so he did it like at least 100 times a day. After 4 weeks, nothing had happened. Of course, nothing had happened. How on earth can this work? So he stopped with it and he said, okay, I've proven my theory. And then 8 weeks later, out of the blue, a woman walked up to him and whispered in his ear, I like you. And he ended up marrying this woman. The power of affirmation is just the repetition. You just have to repeat it over and over again. It's like sowing the thoughts and reaping your destiny. It works, even if you don't believe in it. This is the great thing, people. In order to create a new, empowering belief, you don't have to believe in the method. You just have to do it. So, in general, if you want to become successful, you need to do 2 things. This is a summary of a book of 300 pages written by a guy who has read everything about psychology and psychiatry. It's Dr. Paul. And I give to you the management summary, and it's 2 words. In order to become successful, you need to have 2 character traits. You have to do 2 things. You have to do courage and discipline. Courage to try new things, to go out of your comfort zone. And in a minute, you all will have a great opportunity to go out of your comfort zone, because we're going to do it. We're going to do the incantation, and I'll tell you what it is. And the other thing is, you have to have discipline. You have to do it every day again, sowing the eggs in order to reap the habit and in order to reap the fruits. Next slide. So I tell you how this turned my life around. I decided to put it to the test. So I made my affirmations, and every day I would walk down the stairs and read it out loud. I am the prize. Women love me. Women love redheads with freckles. I never meet lesbians anymore. I repeat it over and over again. I am a cause in the world, not an effect. I believe in myself. I am the prize. I am the man, etc., all the way down. It took me 10 minutes, and then up again. It took me 15 minutes. And I was repeating it over and over again, did it every day. And in a few months, it changed my love life from having like 1 date every few months and always blowing it, to having a date every week and being like this guy.